Right now at 4, here's a look at some of the top stories we're following on your Monday.
And I'm Jonathan Weaver in the Storm Team 44 Weather Center. We are tracking the risk for the possibility of severe weather. We'll have that timetable for you, along with the warmer temperatures coming up shortly.
A warning from a tri-state sheriff about the dangers of off-road vehicles. This concerns after 3 people died in an ATV accident over the weekend. A high-speed chase ends with 1 man behind bars. What happened when police tried to pull the suspect over? And crews are working around the clock to cut up the remains of the bridge after it collapsed in Baltimore. How the crash is impacting our country.
Live, local, late-breaking. This is 44 News. We begin today with a Storm Team 44 weather alert.
Newscast with a Storm Team 44 weather alert as storms are inbound for your late evening and overnight hours. And we'll send it now over to Storm Team 44 meteorologist Jonathan Weaver, who's tracking this system and when it'll impact your area. Jonathan, what can we expect?
That's right, Ben. Man, it feels like summer out there. Temperature is very close to 80 degrees. The humidity is up. We saw a lot of clouds today, which stifled the chances for showers earlier today. But now we're getting a good amount of sunshine, and we're watching those clouds flare up. So we'll watch the skies for the next couple of hours. No watches. No warnings in effect, so we don't have to worry about that right now. Looks like the bigger line will come in after midnight. So it feels summer-like right now. Scattered storms a possibility through the evening hours. We'll be tracking a line of stronger to severe storms coming through for most of us after midnight, between midnight and we'll say 5 a.m. So again, we'll keep our eye on the sky for you. Here's the live look at Storm Team 44 Doppler radar. The sunshine mixed with the clouds. This is ground clutter, so no organized precipitation. It is all out to our north and west right now. And so again, we're getting a lot of sunshine here in this corridor, so we will watch for anything to flare up later on this evening into the late evening hours. But again, severe storm watches way out to our west and southwestern sections of Missouri. So we'll be that will be the line that we'll track through again after midnight. So in the short term, I wouldn't cancel your evening plans. It feels hot outside. You're gonna sweat if you have baseball practice or soccer practice. But again, an isolated scattered shower, not out of the question as we head throughout the before sunset into the next couple of hours. Ben.
Thanks, Jonathan. To make sure that you are always aware of any severe weather in your area, make sure to download our free Storm Team 44 app or visit us at our website, wevv.com. Knew it for the sudden deaths of 2 Hopkins County women and 1 Posey County man involved in off-road vehicle accidents. Now is law enforcement reminding people about the dangers of operating those vehicles. All of the same traffic rules for operating a motor vehicle apply when it comes to ATVs and UTVs. And the Posey County Sheriff's Office says as months get warmer, it's more common to see those off-road vehicles on the road. So it's important for all drivers to be aware of one another.
People in cars or ORVs need to watch out for each other. It's like motorcycles. Take that extra second to look again before you proceed through an intersection.
The victims of the Hopkins County crash have been identified as 24-year-old Kelsey Mullins and 24-year-old Vanessa Morgan. An Illinois family is finally getting some answers this afternoon. After 6 long months, the body found in a shed in Carmi, Illinois has finally been identified as Timothy Roberts. According to the White County coroner, the body was found last October and the remains were treated as unidentified. A concerned caller said her brother had been missing for about 5 months and had not been seen. And after DNA tests, they finally came back as a match. According to authorities, no foul play is suspected. Happening today for all of you that are Evansville water and sewer utility customers, you will see your water rates increase. Now, the start of April also marks the beginning of the next phase of EWSU's planned incremental rate increase, which was previously approved by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Committee. Now, at the time of the phased rate increase's approval, officials say it'll go towards funding the replacement of the city's water treatment plant. EWSU says part of the current water filtration facility has been in operation for over 125 years and is now nearing the end of its life. Well, over the weekend, tense moments as the Petersburg Fire Department responded to a blaze at a gas station. Now, police say around 8:30 Saturday morning, a car fire was reported at the Sunoco station along Main Street in Petersburg. Now, once on scene, officials found out that that vehicle was reported stolen, and witnesses in the area saw 3 males run from the car. By using Pike County Sheriff's Office K-9 units and a drone, the suspects were located and arrested. Heading to Gibson County now, where the man accused of stabbing his mother to death will be in court. Court records show David Crow's trial began today. Now, back in October of 2021, deputies found a woman's body wrapped in a tarp in a wooded area near Princeton. Deputies say Crow was arrested after authorities say he did admit to the crime. In Madisonville now, where a man is facing charges after police say they caught him with drugs following a pursuit. When police tried to pull the driver over, MPD says he forced another vehicle off the road. Then the driver began a high-speed chase, leading them into Muhlenberg County. The driver was later identified as Melvin Wilcox. Wilcox was found with several drugs in the vehicle and was under the influence at the time of his arrest. He has been booked into the Hopkins County Jail. New at 4, 44 News crews spotted vandalism on the University of Evansville sign located next to the Lloyd Expressway earlier today. Now, it is still unknown who spray painted the sign, but it was quickly removed after an official noticed it, and we will continue to bring you more details as they become available. Crews in Henderson have started reconstructing the Kentucky 351 interchange as part of the Section 1 of the I-69 Ohio River crossing. Lane restrictions are scheduled along Kentucky 351 and 2nd Street, reducing it to one lane in each direction from in front of North Middle School all the way to US 41 southbound ramps. Now, the closures will allow crews to install new under-the-road storm drainage, along with completing other work in that area. New at 4, crews are working around the clock to cut up the remains of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, then haul it away. The Army Corps of Engineers says this is an important project they're working on, not only for Maryland residents, but for the country as a whole. Skylar Henry has those details from Washington, D.C.
Coast Guard teams dropped buoys in the Patapsco River as part of a new alternate ship channel for some smaller boats.
I anticipate, smaller draft commercial vessels, maybe some small tugs in the next few days. That's that 13 to 14-foot draft, but unfortunately, that's not a lot of vessels, but it certainly is a start.
Welders are cutting away pieces of the collapsed bridge in an effort to clear out debris and fully reopen the channel for all ships. Crews also need to remove debris to reach the bodies of 4 construction workers who are presumed dead. Maryland State Police believe they have found missing vehicles underwater.
It is a mangled, cantilevered mess, and there are areas where they want to be able to search, and there could be potential spots where there are vehicles and possibly maybe the human remains.
The White House announced Monday President Biden will visit Baltimore Friday to see the wreckage and meet with state and local leaders.
President Biden and his team are working with Governor Moore, the congressional delegation, Mayor Scott, and numerous state and local officials to reopen the port, rebuild the bridge, and support the people of Baltimore.
State officials say they expect help from the federal government to rebuild the bridge.
We're going to have continued conversation with the state of Maryland to get a sense of how much this is going to cost, and we have said we're going to certainly continuing to talk to Congress to get some assistance here.
The Port of Baltimore is one of the busiest in the nation, and as long as it remains closed, the impact will be felt across the country. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
Well, coming up, a new lawsuit is going after the second most valuable company in the world. How it could end up affecting Apple users.
A better way to predict allergy season. I'm Ian Lee with scientists who say there's new help for hay fever.
But first, taking a look outside right now, our 44 Sky Cam. Network traffic moving smoothly along the Twin Bridges there, and it is so almost summer-like outside right now. Great day to roll those windows down, enjoy this nice weather before those storms make their way in this evening. Happening in America today, more than half of Americans use an iPhone. Helping that is making Apple the second most valuable company in the world. Now, the Department of Justice has now joined 16 states, including the District of Columbia, in a lawsuit that claims the company has been abusing its power and that consumers are now paying that price. CBS News correspondent Jolene Kent has more.
AT&T says this massive breach impacted both current and former customers, and it was uncovered when their private data started appearing on the dark web about 2 weeks ago. The leaked data comes from about 7.6 million current account holders and more than 65 million former ones. And what was stolen varies from person to person. The company says it could include social security numbers, full names, first, middle, and last, email and mailing addresses, birth dates, and AT&T account details. And most of that data is from 2019 or earlier, and AT&T said it already reset current users' passcodes and is reaching out to those with compromised information. AT&T is also warning customers to keep close track of their account activity and closely monitor their credit reports. So far, no word on who's behind it or why it's taken so long to figure out. Now, about a year ago, AT&T suffered another breach through a third-party vendor that compromised millions of customers. And you probably remember this one. Back in February, AT&T wireless customers reported major widespread outages in major cities across the U.S. as well. The company said that was caused by a technical glitch, a software update, not a cyber attack. Jolene Kent, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, back here in the tri-states, those storms are inbound for your late evening and overnight hours tonight. And Storm Team 44 meteorologist Jonathan Weaver is tracking the timing of these rain conditions ahead. Jonathan, when can we expect it?
Yeah, like you said, probably late evening into the overnight hours, though we can't rule out something popping up right now. We're looking at live sky cam here. Most of the day was cloudy, and it's suppressed the thunderstorm activity. Most of it was north of the White River. But we're watching these towering cumulus clouds develop now that the sunshine has come out, so we'll keep an eye on the sky for you. So we cannot rule out a possibility of something popping up now in the next couple of hours as the sun is up and throughout the evening hours. But the main line will come through after midnight. So you might want to go to your app store, download our Storm Team 44 app, have a weather radio handy so you are knowing what is going on. So that was Evansville. We're going to head to Owensboro. Some sunshine peeking out through the clouds. Since the sunshine has come out, temperatures have risen about 3 to 5 degrees in most locations across the tri-state. We're at 80 degrees right now in Evansville. It feels like summer out there, not because of just this 80-degree temperature, but because of this dew point, too. So it feels humid. It's feeling summer-like. Dew point temperatures in the 60s in most locations across the tri-state, and this is what's going to help fuel those thunderstorms as we head into the overnight hours. 78 in Princeton, a little bit cooler where you have seen some rain up again in our northern counties in Washington, 78 in Jasper, 80 in Owensboro, 79 in Mount Vernon, and 82 degrees right now in Carmine. We're watching the clouds on the sky cam just in case something pops up here in the short term, but live Storm Team 44 Doppler radar is dry. This is just ground clutter around the area behind my shoulder there, a few light showers if you're traveling out toward Louisville. Here's what's happened over the last couple of hours. So again, just our northern counties have seen some light rain. We are looking out to our south and west, though, where there are tornado watches in effect for sections of Oklahoma and southwestern sections of Missouri. So we'll look to see over the next couple of hours if the Storm Prediction Center issues those watches closer and closer to our area. Futurecast, Storm Team 44 Futurecast, not too optimistic though, kind of downplaying the storm chances as we head into the overnight hours. So this could be a good thing. So we'll keep the clouds around, it'll stay humid, temperatures in the 60s. We are forecasting a line of storms to move through after midnight. So here's the timestamp up here in the top right. It almost looks like we almost have better chances for seeing a line of storms and storms popping up as we head into the mid-morning hours and the lunchtime hours of your Tuesday. We'll be here. We'll keep an eye on the sky for you. Keep it here on 44 News, and we will keep you informed as always. Your Storm Team 44 forecast for this evening. Again, we cannot rule out something popping up, so we'll call for scattered storms, feeling summer-like, temperatures in the 70s through the overnight hours, 66, that's it. Severe storms will be possible. We'll let you know what's happening if watches or warnings are issued. 78 tomorrow, storms breaking out. Then look at these temperatures. Ben, they drop like a rock. Thursday, High temperature only right around 50 degrees Thursday and Friday. Look at these morning lows. It's a big cold front. It's going to get cold as we head into the beginning of the weekend.
Thanks, Jonathan. Still ahead, a new alert has been issued due to an increase in illnesses, ways you can prevent yourself from a bacteria infection. Taking a look outside right now, our 44 Skycam Network. That sun's still shining in Owensboro and a nice summer-like evening ahead. So if you're out and about this evening, it's going to be a nice one. For your health this afternoon, allergy season has started to kick in, and so has hay fever. Now, about 1 in 4 adults here in the U.S. suffer from this condition, but scientists in the U.K. say they found a better way to measure what's making people miserable. CBS's Ian Lee reports from London.
Spring is in the air, and so is misery for millions. Stopping to smell the flowers can lead to sneezing, watery eyes, or worse for London resident Alex Hill.
It's kind of like, it's like stuffy nose, sinuses, headaches, like nosebleeds.
Like most folks, he blames pollen.
When does allergy...
But scientists at Imperial College London say that's not the whole picture.
The pollen counts, they're good and they can be associated with health outcomes, but once you account for the allergen levels, it's clear from the study that we did that it's the allergen levels that count.
Pollen carries allergens, which cause hay fever symptoms, and can be released at different times and in different amounts.
Knowing when the allergen levels themselves are going to be high can help people stay indoors when they need to, maybe take showers when they get home to rinse off some of the allergen that they might have been exposed to.
In this London lab, researchers are checking allergens on a small scale.
These are air filters, and these are placed inside air samplers, and ideally what we want to do is capture pollen allergen on them.
But no country in the world actively tracks allergen levels, as it's expensive and time-consuming.
And we feel that if we could incorporate regular monitoring of allergen levels, the forecasting would get better.
Helping people better navigate their hay fever during allergy season. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
And more for your health this afternoon. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention have issued an alert about an increase in illnesses caused by bacteria that can lead to meningitis and possibly death. Now, 422 cases were reported last year, which is the most in a single year since 2014. Most of the infections come from a specific strain of bacteria that can be treated with antibiotics if caught early.
And right now, we are bone dry across the area. Some shower activity to our north. We'll keep our eye on the sky for you. No watches or warnings in effect. A strong cold front approaching. We'll show you how the temperatures will change and how low they'll go coming up in our all-important 7-day forecast.
New at 4, a day meant for faith and family fun has been disrupted by fear and chaos after a man fired shots inside Roasted, a popular brunch spot on Garfield Street in Salemtown, Tennessee. Police say those shots rang out after an isolated fight between two men. It only took minutes for one to come inside, draw his gun, then shoot and kill the other one. Police say it may have to do with invading personal space. Carly Payne says she lives nearby and saw it all, including the gunman as he ran away.
there was a lot. It wasn't just one or two. 10, 15, easy.
On a holiday celebrating peace and joy, a feeling of sorrow and discomfort now hangs over this small neighborhood. Well, coming up on 44 News at 4, local grocery store has remodeled 2 of its locations. The changes you can expect to see the next time you are in a Schnucks.
And I'm Jonathan Weaver in the Storm Team 44 Weather Center. We're tracking the potential for severe storms. Later on, we'll have that hour-by-hour futurecast and a live radar coming up shortly.
Also at 4:30, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, what child services and community partners are doing to raise awareness and educate the public. A longtime letter carrier was one of 4 killed in a Rockford neighborhood rampage. How one community is coming together to honor and remember his life. And get ready to party for the planet, the annual celebration at Mesker Park Zoo.
Live, local, late-breaking. This is 44 News. We begin today with a Storm Team 44 weather alert.
We do begin this half hour with a Storm Team 44 weather alert as storms are inbound for your late evening and overnight hours. We'll send it now over to Storm Team 44 meteorologist Jonathan Weaver, who is tracking this incoming system and will tell you when it'll be impacting your area. Jonathan?
That's right, Ben. Nothing happening right now. That is the good news. Man, it feels summer-like out there. We had mostly clouds throughout the day. Temperatures were in the middle 70s. Now we have a a good amount of sunshine out there. So we're watching the cumulus clouds develop. So this is why we still think we have the chance for an isolated to scattered shower as we go throughout the next couple of hours. And with that, temperatures have risen another 3 to 5 degrees. We're at 80 degrees in Evansville. So the humidity is up, scattered storms throughout the evening hours. The bigger line will be coming through, the possibility of severe weather, mainly throughout the overnight hours. So we're talking about after midnight. So temperatures will stay warm through the evening hours, but we got a big cold front back behind this line of storms that will move through tonight. So we'll talk about how low we'll go coming up in a couple minutes. Ben?
Thanks, Jonathan. To make sure you are always aware of any severe weather in your area, download our free Storm Team 44 app or visit us at our website, wevv.com. New at 4, the sudden death of 2 Hopkins County women and 1 Posey County man involved in off-road vehicle accidents now has law enforcement urging the dangers that come with these vehicles. All of the same traffic rules for operating a motor vehicle apply when it comes to ATVs and UTVs. The Posey County Sheriff's Office says as the months get warmer, it is more common to see those off-road vehicles on the road, so it's important that all drivers are aware of one another. The victims of the Hopkins County crash have been identified as 24-year-old Kelsey Mullins and 24-year-old Vanessa Morgan. An Illinois family is finally getting answers this afternoon after 6 long months. The body found in a shed in Carmi, Illinois has finally been identified as Timothy Roberts. According to the White County coroner, the body was found last October and the remains were treated as unidentified. But a concerned caller said her brother had been missing for about 5 months and had not been seen. After running DNA tests, they did come back as a match. According to authorities, no foul play is suspected. Happening today, for any of you that are Evansville water and sewer utility customers, you are about to see a water rate increase. Now, the start of April also marks the beginning of the next phase of EWSU's planned incremental rate increase, which was previously approved by the Indiana Utility Regulatory Committee. Now, at the time of the increase's approval, officials say this will be going towards funding the city's replacement of the water treatment plant. EWSU says part of the current water filtration facility has been in operation for over 125 years and is now nearing the end of its life. Well, new at 4, upgrades and renovations at 2 Schnucks locations are officially complete. These changes were made to Schnucks on Green River Road and the one along the West Lloyd Expressway. Now, of these renovations, both stores received updates to their deli departments, new lighting throughout the fresh area, electronic shelf labels, and a new e-commerce area. Both locations will soon hold customer appreciation events, which will include free samples. New at this hour, residents of Rockford, Illinois are remembering the man they say delivered joy to their homes. Jay Larson, a longtime letter carrier, was one of 4 killed in a Rockford neighborhood rampage. Jay Larson made a career of delivering mail, but people remember him more for delivering some joy. A family through rain, snow, or danger, postal workers spend their days together and with the communities they serve more than anywhere else.
You know, he grew up with people on this route, you know, like he saw from 2 years old and going to elementary school, and he made everyone feel like you were the most important person in the world at the time that you had him in your life.
Now, the route that Stewart walks was once Larson's, and the union rep says people still ask about Larson even 13 years after he switched neighborhoods. A citywide procession honoring the fallen carrier will be held on Tuesday. New at 4, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. In honor of it, the Indiana Department of Child Services and community partners are working together to raise awareness and educate the public. Now, Governor Eric Holcomb proclaimed April Child Abuse Prevention Month in order to support families and keep children safe. DCS is providing support for communities through preventative programs for families, including Healthy Families Indiana and community partners for child safety. DCS local offices and partners will host special events focused on education and prevention throughout the entire month of April. Happening at Kentucky Wesleyan College, local businesses and organizations are invited to participate in the 2024 Stand Against Child Abuse event. Now, this event pairs education with family fun, incorporating inflatables, even a petting zoo. Participating organizations are asked to provide attendees with a family-friendly activity as well as information about their services. Now, this event takes place on the front lawn of KWTC's campus Friday, April 12th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. And bringing it back here to Evansville, Mesker Park Zoo will be hosting a party for the planet. Now, this is a collaborative celebration recognizing Earth Day, Endangered Species Day, and World Oceans Day. At this annual celebration, there will be plenty of vendors, activities, and other events directed at highlighting the importance of saving precious life on Earth. This event gets underway Saturday, April 13th from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. Happening in Jasper, the Downtown Showdown will be returning to Dave Buehler Plaza. This event, in partnership with the Jasper Public Library, will include 10 food trucks, live music, and yard games. Now, trucks will start serving at 4. All of the activities will kick off at 5. This fun gets underway this Thursday, April 4th. Downtown Showdown will take place on the first Thursday of the month from now until April 3rd. Well, still to come, Easter Sunday lands one member of the royal family back in the spotlight. We're on King Charles' first appearance since his cancer diagnosis. Plus, massive protests over the weekend in Israel call for the prime minister to resign over the handling of the Israel-Hamas war. New at 4, we head to Israel, where there were mass protests over the weekend calling for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to resign. Tens of thousands turned out to express their anger and anguish over Netanyahu's handling of the war with Hamas, as well as negotiations over hostages. Holly Williams is in Jerusalem with more on what's driving these demonstrations.
In Jerusalem last night, outside Israel's parliament, some protesters called for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's removal from office. Many here want a government that'll do more to bring the remaining hostages home. And in Tel Aviv on Saturday, demonstrators filled the streets around Israel's defense ministry, protesting Netanyahu's handling of the war.
This government is doing horrendous things in Gaza, not in our name, and we want the government to take responsibility and resign today, right now.
This war, though, was ignited by Hamas launching its deadly attack on October 7th, slaughtering civilians in their own homes. Now, even with deadly airstrikes raining down on the people they claim to represent, Hamas says it won't agree to a deal to release the hostages without a permanent ceasefire.
We have a lot of sympathy, a lot of support. Israel has been exposed clearly as an apartheid state. They are killers.
Dr. Bassem Naim is Hamas's head of international relations.
It sounds as if you're saying that you think Hamas has won the public relations war during this conflict. Is that right?
Yes, I think yes.
But the cost of that public relations victory has been 32,000 Palestinian lives by your count.
Again, I think it is unfair to accuse me of being responsible for the genocide.
In fact, a UN report in February found that there had been clear violations of international humanitarian law on both sides. A recent poll here found that 57% of Israelis think that Netanyahu's performance during the war has been poor or very poor. Holly Williams, CBS News, Jerusalem.
Well, back here in the tri-state, we are still dealing with a humid, kind of summer-like day, but unfortunately, some storms are on their way later tonight. And Storm Team 44 meteorologist Jonathan Weaver is tracking when these storms will be impacting our area. Jonathan, what can we expect?
Yeah, it looks like mainly after midnight, but we cannot rule out something popping up now as we start to see the sunshine make a reappearance. We had a lot of clouds throughout the day. The sweat factor is coming back. It does feel like summer out there. The humidity is back. This is a live look at the Twin Bridges, mostly cloudy skies. Here's Walnut Street. Look at all the sunshine peeking through the clouds. You got the puffy cumulus clouds developing. We got to make sure they don't grow too vertically because that's how we get the stronger thunderstorms. So we'll watch that over the next couple of hours. If you have outdoor plans, don't cancel them. But again, we cannot rule out something happening before sunset. 80 degrees right now. Here's the dew point temperature in the 60s. This is why it's starting to feel uncomfortable. And temperatures are just right around 80 degrees, upper 70s in other locations across the tri-state. It got a little bit cooler up in Washington where we saw some rain showers earlier, 73, 78 in Jasper. Again, 80 in Evansville, 81 in Carmi, and 78 degrees right now in Clay. We're watching the clouds develop, and we're watching live Storm Team 44 Doppler radar. This is ground clutter, so the intensity is turned up. We're not seeing any pop-up storms now, but we are watching out to our west. There's a warm front out to our north, so we're going to watch some storms flare up around that warm front, around I-70, westward out towards St. Louis. We have some tornado watches in effect out toward Tulsa. So we'll watch as we go throughout the next couple of hours if the Storm Prediction Center will issue a watch for, first of all, probably our southeastern Illinois counties, and then for our area. So again, the timing looks to be after midnight for a wider range of severe weather. Futurecast showing not too much happening. Okay, so here's the line around St. Louis. We're after midnight, so between midnight and probably 4 a.m., we'll really keep our eyes on the sky. You might want to download our Storm Team 44 app so you can stay weather aware in situations like this, just in case they pop up while you're sleeping. Turn up the volume on your phone. As we go throughout the day tomorrow, we're still gonna continue that chance for some showers and thunderstorms until this cold front moves through. So temperatures, again, will be in the upper 70s, feeling summer-like through your Tuesday. Front moves through. We really start to cool you off as we head into the latter part of the week. So 70s this evening, cannot rule out something developing. So we'll keep our eye on the sky for you. No watches, again, no warnings in effect. Severe storms a possibility after midnight. We'll be right around 65. 78 tomorrow, some thunderstorms, good possibility flaring up. Then here's the big chill down as we head into Thursday. Well, Wednesday, first of all, 70s, not too bad, 50s. As we head into Thursday, Friday, these are high temperatures, and we are in April. There was times in March where we were a lot warmer, as you know. And then look at these morning lows, right around almost the freezing mark. So in the 30s as we head toward the weekend. Ben?
Thanks, Jonathan. Also new at this hour, President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden hosted a soggy Easter egg roll at the White House filled with education activities for kids of all ages. Now, some 40,000 visitors all gathered on the South Lawn for the annual event, which was delayed about 90 minutes because of lightning and thunder. Now, President Biden blew the whistle to start the race, and then children rolled some colorful eggs through the grass using wooden spoons. He did speak to the crowd before kicking off the annual tradition.
Easter reminds us of the power of hope and renewal, sacrifice and resurrection, but mainly love and grace toward one another. It's time to pray for one another, to cherish the blessings and the possibilities that we have as Americans.
Now, First Lady Jill Biden also read the book, Brown Bear, What Do You See?, to all the children and their families during Monday's celebration. All across the pond, the Easter weekend put Britain's King Charles back in the spotlight for his first major appearance since announcing he has cancer. But his daughter-in-law, Princess Kate, is still asking for privacy. Now, at this first royal event since his cancer diagnosis, King Charles attended Easter Sunday service at St. George's Chapel. The 75-year-old monarch has been out of the public eye while undergoing his cancer treatment. His wife, Queen Kamala, has taken on more duties to help out.
Just goes to show you that no matter who you are, this horrible disease can get anyone.
Prince William and Kate skipped the royal Easter service this year after asking for some time, space, and privacy for their young family. Palace sources tell CBS News the king's Easter appearance is an encouraging sign of how the monarch's treatment is progressing, and the road ahead looks positive. Oh, the stage has been set and only 4 teams remain. We preview March Madness's Final Four after the break. Welcome back. A highly anticipated March Madness rematch tonight could be the best game from both tournaments. But before we get to that, over in the men's competition, NC State will be in the Final Four along with Connecticut, who's going for back-to-back titles. Alabama and Purdue round out the Final Four. And on the back of superstar center Zach Edey, his career-high 40 points propelled the Boilermakers to the first Final Four in 44 years. As well as Alabama knocked off Clemson to clinch its first Final Four in school history.
This is what March Madness is about, you know. When you're a kid, you want to be in these moments, and it felt like my dream came true today.
But the women's Final Four, that will be set tonight after a rematch of last year's title game between Iowa and the reigning champs, the LSU Tigers, as two of college basketball's biggest stars, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, will face off once again.
April kicks off Distracted Driving Awareness Month. I'm Danya Backus with what officials are doing to keep drivers focused behind the wheel.
And taking a live look outside right now to 44 Sky Cam Network over downtown Evansville. Sun's still shining, still a bit humid out there, but make the most of tonight before those storms make their way in later this evening.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, testing, test 1, test 2. Now on 44 News at 5, testing.
In consumer news this hour, Dana Walden is now in the running to be Bob Iger's successor as Disney CEO, according to people familiar with this matter. Now, if she is chosen, Walden would be the first female CEO of Disney in its 100-year history. She's proven herself as a TV executive, but some former Disney executives question whether her resume is suitable for the top job. More than 20 colleagues and friends spoke with CNBC about her strengths, faults, and the perceived likelihood that she will take over. Plus, United is offering pilots unpaid time off in May and potentially through the summer, the pilots union says. The United Pilots Union cited delayed Boeing deliveries for the update. Now, United's CEO is among airline leaders who have expressed frustration at Boeing, whose CEO last week said he would step down. And finally, for a second year in a row, the number of traffic fatalities has fallen, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. But crashes caused by distracted drivers remains a big problem still, killing more than 3,000 people in 2022. Danya Backus looks at what officials are doing to convince drivers to put those phones down.
This fiery six-vehicle crash on Interstate 10 near Phoenix last year killed 5 people. Police say at fault a tractor-trailer driver going 68 miles an hour while using TikTok. Monday, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration kicked off Distracted Driving Awareness Month with a new message for drivers: put the phone away or pay. In 2022, distracted driving killed more than 3,300 people and injured nearly 300,000 more.
Almost 20% of those killed in distracted driving-related crashes were people outside the vehicle, pedestrians, cyclists, and others on the road.
The agency also premiered a new campaign calling out all phone use behind the wheel.
There's the steering wheel propper, the sneak-a-peeker, the fast roller.
Behaviors that have consequences.
The got-a-ticketer, the veering off the road, the driver who kills someone.
The new commercials will be on a heavy rotation this month, and starting Thursday, law enforcement agencies around the country will be cracking down.
I say to America, put down the phones. The life you save may be your own.
The driver of the tractor-trailer, Danny Tenner, survived the crash and faces 5 counts of manslaughter. His first court hearing is scheduled for next month. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Now on 44 News at 5, a Storm Team 44 weather alert.
And we're tracking some rain out to our west, the possibility of severe weather coming after midnight. We'll have that hour-by-hour futurecast coming up.
Keeping you safe during a severe storm.
I truly believe that the NOAA